So, another one bites the dust. How did that go, Steph?
Yeah, I thought it was...
Well, it didn't go like that. It had that great bass line, didn't it? Dum dum dum.
Actually, somebody said on Twitter the other day in capital letters, didn't they, in one of the comments? I thought that was an awesome bass line on your musical intro.
They did, yes.
Yeah.
Because somebody asked what it was.
Yeah, I told them it was off that Epidemic sound thing. I think Marks and Spencers have used it on one of
They
their
have
ads
in one of their
as well.
adverts. I tried to find it, though, but I couldn't.
I was very tempted to say that you're a multi-instrumentalist, Richard, and recorded it yourself, but I thought I'd better not.
Oh. You see,
I don't have the talent to do that.
I still think we need a jingle for the Railway News Roundup. Maybe you could record one of those, Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Have you got a synthesizer, Richard? You're a keyboard
Yep.
man. You have?
Yeah.
Of course he has.
Yeah, I've still got a lot of my old gear. Yeah.
The Green Signals
bit,
band. Can you
it's a
sing,
bit dated
Steph?
now?
Well, I'm not sure I should admit to that, but not in front of Richard anyway, because his idea of whether somebody can sing is, you know.
Well, he has got, damn him, perfect pitch. And I thought, I am never, ever going to pick up a guitar in front of Richard, who's...
No, that's it.
He did refer to me on the air the other day as a fellow musician. I was hugely flattered at that, Richard, because I'm just not in your league. But there you go.
So I might sing for you, Nigel, but not for Richard.
Yes, I am a guitar.
So I've got Lucy here, who sort of, you know, fills the house with song at every available opportunity.
Well, maybe there is a Green Signals band gig at some point, but anyway, look,
are we going to talk about the show?
Well, we can do. Yeah,
he's gone off on a tangent now.
Well,
too late.
I know it's because we no script. You see, GBRF. I thought we were planning to do that this episode. You're jollying on a GBRF train.
That's outrageous. There's no jollying going. Steph, back me up. This is hard graft.
You see, I would really like to, and I would have backed you up because it did look like fairly hard work at times. But then you told me about the curry.
Do you know
a cab trip from Glasgow to wherever it is
but
you
in
went.
A 66, it's not going to be comfortable, is it?
180 miles in a 66.
It is noisy and vibrating.
It is, but what I was really impressed. I mean, there was we're gonna do it on next week's show, right? It just we ended up with, as ever, having too much stuff and having to chop some stuff out. It's a great little video. I'm quite pleased with it. But one of the things that was really nice and so impressive about John Smith, the chief exec, he uses these trips as an opportunity to meet all his people and spend time with them.
Yeah.
So after we got to Fort William, we ended up in a curry house with a driver and his his wife and the sort of the driver, the train manager and it was
really nice.
It was really, really nice, and he's very open and honest with them, but you kind of get that real sense of family and team, and they're all kind of...
Now we can really sum up in one word, can't we? Leadership.
I was going to say, John is
I've always said in fun, really, that John always leads from the front, whether it's into the business during the day or into the pub when we finish for the day. Yeah. And he's brilliant at it. They're going to miss him eventually, aren't they? Well, we should look forward to that day.
It was good.
The day of very hard work you did riding in a cab on the West Highland line. I'll leave our viewers, and particularly the viewers on YouTube, to decide whether they agree with my definition of jollying. I think they might, I have to say.
Yeah, but that's very presumptuous. There was another trip I did, which was also hard work.
That's not jollying. Right, okay. Go on, tell us about that one.
This is jollying. That was the new measurement train with Network Rail. So,
you see, I think that was work. That was work.
It was work. It was work. I mean,
not
we went
digging
to
holes in the road. I
mean, let's face it.
True.
No, it was great. It was really good. I learned. What's fascinating about all these things, guys, is you learn so much.
Yes.
You sort of think, I know this and I know that, and then you go, oh, actually, no, I didn't. So, so that was really good. I mean,
joking apart, we are very privileged to do these things on behalf of our viewers and end users. And I just want us to do the best job possible, which we do, in conveying that information. and all the rest of it. Because you're right, Richard, we do learn a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
And it's really nice just to meet people.
Well, yeah, no, that's true. That is very true, actually.
So, GBRF to come, NMT to come, and then
what have we got
not
coming up,
Jolene.
Steph?
What else have I lost track?
Well, you're also going to the Isle of Wight, don't forget, this week.
So I am.
Oh.
No.
You see, anywhere that's got a beach is jollying.
I don't think I'm going to be seeing the flipping beach.
You're not going to go all the way to the Isle of Wight and just go and look at trains, are you?
Well, one of the things that I've had to do this summer is combine green signals with sort of spending some time with my kids.
And wife.
Well, no, mainly the kids, unfortunately. I mean, even when we went to Swanage for the weekend, we ended up on the railway, as you would. But no, so Charlie came with me on the new measurement train because he's interested in engineering. Lucy came down to Newquay with me when I went for my videography course.
Oh, right, okay.
And she's coming to the Isle of Wight as well. So I said, I'm off to talk to Network Rail and South Wales Railways about the Island Line. And anyway, there's Ride. So she'll be fine.
So you're earning some dad points.
Yeah, no, that's not too bad, is it? So yeah, we've got that to do. Quite looking forward to that. I love the Isle of Wight.
That should be really interesting, that one.
I have a shocking admission to make. I've never set foot on the Isle of Wight.
Have you not?
No. That is shocking,
it is
Nigel.
Good.
You need to go.
Yeah.
You need to go.
It's pretty good. It's a very nice place. What else we've got? Because one of the things I was going to try and do was see if I could meet up with Steve Oates, the chief executive of HRA, when I was out there. But that's not been possible to do, unfortunately. But we've got that one is something we're planning, isn't it? So we've got that great piece with Paul Lewin.
Yes.
And we need to do the piece about heritage.
Because Steve, as I recall, was or still is a fireman on the Isle of Wight Steam Railway.
He is. And it's slightly frustrating. We had a conversation about meeting up. He's there on the Isle of Wight, but the day after, so from the coming Friday, for like 10 days, we just couldn't make it work.
Oh,
so
no.
I know.
That heritage program's really important to do because there are big issues, as we found out in the interview with Paul.
Is that you? Have you left your flipping email on there?
I took the...
he must have done, because it wasn't mine.
And it's not mine, because mine's off.
I was hoping that nobody was going to comment on it. I thought I'd taken it off.
No
You're not going to get away with that, Nigel.
Seems to have come back.
What was that bit about being professional?
Oh, yeah. Earlier when you were like, I'm a professional.
You've got to drop the ball every now and then just to show how professional you really are the rest of the time.
So you must be really professional, Nigel.
Bloody cheek. I was...
I'm sorry, but I couldn't resist that.
I was just drawing breath to make a gag about it. That's why Richard played bum notes when he was on stage to show how good he was the rest of the time.
You were too slow.
But no, it doesn't. It just doesn't work now, does it?
It doesn't. No.
Nope.
Wow. Well done, Stef. Cheapest.
And Nigel took these things to his heart and pondered upon them.
And never let them go. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing that we are getting a lot of comments on that people want to see us do a program on, and that's Roscoe's.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's that constant thing that they cream all the money off and all the rest of it. We need to deal with that. And it's a bit of a what have the Roscoe's ever done for us program, isn't it?
It will be. It's very complicated, and that's why I think certainly I've slightly shied away from it, because the problem is now they're all very, very different. You know, at the time of privatization, it was relatively straightforward. You got what would you call your MOLA leases, what the master operating lease agreements. And then they were pretty standard, and they were really driven by tax benefits. Now they're all so different. You know, you've got ROC, you've got Agility, you've got, all the original Roscoe's and how they do things. It's flipping difficult, but we do need to do it because people want to hear.
And sometimes they can be a bit hesitant to go on record because it invites. I think they sometimes see themselves as setting us up for criticism, which they might avoid by just keeping stum.
But that's not been our style.
No, not our style. I'm talking about them. We might find it difficult.
Oh, I see.
We might find it, difficult to draw them out, but we shall try.
Give it a go.
Yeah. What I do want to do is, the stuff you provided last week, Richard, for HS2 and the way you talked us through the devil's creation of north of Colwich, through the cutting, the curves, the tunnel, and everything else, which left me believing that it is physically impossible and certainly not economic to upgrade that piece of railway, which lots of critics, just upgrade the existing railway. You can't do it, can you? And your word picture of it, I think it would make a brilliant video. And I think we ought to get out and do a video on it to show we could maybe get some drone footage of HS2. I've probably got over the 2A section. And then maybe we could get some cab footage going both ways over that section so you could talk us through it.
Yeah, it'd be a cracker. It's the comments on YouTube on that one, absolutely amazing. You got everything from, weren't they? You got people going,
just scrap it,
just mad, just scrap it. It's a disgrace. It's shocking. And then you got people going, how have we ever got to this position?
How could we be so stupid?
In between.
Which I think that's why doing a video on it and actually showing why we really need Phase 2A would be a really good thing to do, because I think we've obviously started that process with the last show. Yeah. And I think doing a proper look at it, getting some video footage would be really good.
I mean, I was only sort of generally aware that it's, with memories of West Coast Route Mod, Richard, how difficult it was in the broader sense to upgrade an existing railway. But when you put it in detailed context, as you did from the section from College, I can see Stef nodding, I was gobsmacked by it. I hadn't realised. You called it, I think, a perfect storm of infrastructure requirements, which you can't meet. And then there's a river through it as well.
Well, you got the Trent.
Yeah.
You've got the Trent, and then you've got the tributary, which I think is called the Sow.
The Sow or the Sow.
Yeah, the River Sow, yeah. And you've got this valley, and then you've got National Trust, and then you've got
curve into
constrained space and this curve and everything. I mean, I'm sure it is physically possible to do something, but the problem is be highly disruptive. I do all that West Coast Route Mod stuff's amazing. If you sort of go back to those days, I mean, I don't think you could do that now. We closed, I say we, but I mean, SRA, Network Rail, all between us, the operators, we all agreed to blockade from College, actually, from College to Cheadle-Hulme via Stoke-on-Trent. And so we basically shut Stoke-on-Trent for 3 months.
I'm going to say it was about 3 months, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And when that was done, then it was closed from Crewe to Cheadle-Hulme and did that bit. Didn't get everything done, but got a lot of stuff done. But don't forget, I mean, those days, no Twitter or X, no Facebook, no social media. No. I mean, we basically just got on and did it. Can you imagine?
The cacophony now.
Instead, what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to close the railway from, from Tamworth to Crewe for X number of months whilst we do this piece of construction. You just get laughed at.
Yeah,
exactly. So we can build a 39-mile, I think it is, piece of new railway for which we already have powers in most of the land. Yeah. I mean, the more you set it in context, the balmier, wretched Rishi's decision actually was.
Yeah. But you look how long it takes them to do motorway upgrade works. Yeah. You've got contraflows for years, right? And so when people say, just upgrade the existing railway, what they forget to add is that phrase, without causing me any disruption or inconvenience whilst you do it. Right. I mean, it's just bonkers.
Wasn't it William Barter who came up with that wonderful comment about people say that like they think they're downloading a new piece of software?
It is, good. That's a really good point. And
it's anything but.
I'd not thought about it like that.
We've got a job. We've got a job.
Let's
go and sort that.
I actually think, look, it had a profound effect on me, Richard. I've talked about it with Stef. It did you as well, didn't it?
Yeah, and actually, some of the comments on YouTube were great because there were lots of people saying, I've always supported HS2, but this has really opened my eyes and really shown me things that I didn't know. And actually, on the other side, I saw some people saying, actually, I wasn't that sure about HS2, but you've really proven to me now why we need it.
And one bloke actually said he'd changed his mind. He was anti, and that discussion had switched his view. So I actually think we could have a bit of an impact on the discussion here, or at the very least, keep 2A right in the agenda. I think the broadcasters might be able to pick it up, and we can just keep hammering away, and
Meanwhile, we keep hoping for Shadow GBR.
Oh, please! I mean,
do you think we should start doing a sort of a where's our Shadow GBR?
I was waiting for that.
It was going to be day one. I think it's day.
Well,
Maybe we should do a little count next time. We should do it's day whatever. Where is Shadow GBR?
We used to do a countdown to the Channel Tunnel opening on rail. We could do a count up from the day one when we were promised rapid action.
Yeah.
Won't endear us to anybody, but there you go.
Well, no. But they announced who was going to be leading Great British Energy. It was obviously Jürgen Meyer, like within a week.
Yes.
So,
but they did say we will do things from day one because that's what we supported, wasn't it?
Yeah, and while you give them some credit, that's they don't really mean day one. It's they're just making a point, aren't they? But I think we're way past it being even close to day one now.
It's not even been signposted or even mentioned, and that's what I find disturbing.
Maybe it's all happening behind the scenes, and we're about to be told. But of course, Parliament's in recess at the moment, so I don't know. But so it's a bit frustrating, that's for sure.
So we are not going to be short of stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Nothing to do with trains. How hot is it where you are?
It is hot.
You've got air conditioning. You can't blooming complain.
I was just going to say, in the house...
Have you got air conditioning?
Yeah.
Yes.
The house is like an oven in the summer, particularly upstairs. And my neighbour who had it fitted pointed out it wasn't anywhere near as expensive as you might think to fit it. So I had perm. You can have a look when you next come. And
you're probably
it's wonderful, but
contributing to global warming in Tallington, though, with the air conditioning units.
Yeah.
Though it does mean that it's every time you go out the front door, it's like when you go on holiday somewhere hot and you get to the aircraft door and you walk into it,
Well, that's quite good. I've actually, so I'm wearing my little top office, and normally I have a window open. I tend not when we're recording because you get the sounds of the farm. But this morning, you would also get the smells of the farm as well. I do not know what they're doing or what they're spraying, but I think the word is ripe. So I've got a choice between...
I did wonder where you were heading with that one for a minute.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah. So I've got a choice between boiling or asphyxiation. I'm not quite sure which is worse, but I'm opting for boiling.
It's been like that here because I've got patio doors open in the office, and I couldn't have done it a couple of days ago because they were literally combining the fields right behind the house, and the dust clouds. I mean, you couldn't be outside. Bad, the cars are a different colour. It's just, it's not good.
The joys of living on farms, eh?
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, which we ought to do, I just wanted to say how incredibly touched I find I am by the comments on YouTube generally and the stuff we get back. We really seem to be touching a chord, and I just find it incredibly encouraging.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. Just apart from the ones that say we're talking crap.
Oh, there's
but all the rest are really good. Aren't they?
We ignore those ones.
Yeah.
Well, never.
As you once said, our house, our rules.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. Isn't it? Yeah. There's a guy.
And if you don't like it, you can off.
Well, there's a guy, and I don't know if it is a guy or not, but there's somebody on Twitter who is like one of these classic sort of keyboard warriors who hides behind a sort of an avatar and a made-up name, right? Who clearly just thinks that everything I say is just absolute garbage, right? I mean, I think he even posted once, or she even posted, I don't know. Richard Bowker has said the following: that is always the clearest indication that you should do the precise opposite. That's always a bit harsh, right?
A bit clever as well.
So I'd love to meet them at some point. So what have I
done to
you?
That was not as funny as that person who said about getting the man on the left to shut up so we could listen to the man on the right. That was my favourite. I loved it.
I think she's talking about you.
She is. But I'm always. Can I just point out on the left? She means visually, because that's our Ant and Deck thing now. We have to be seen in that order.
I was just helping for those who aren't sure about left and right. What Stef was referring to was you.
Yeah, okay, mate. I also thought there was a very funny one, and I actually leapt to your defence, actually. I wish I hadn't bothered now. Somebody made some snide remark about you, saying Bowker's obviously clearly just trying to make a name for himself.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
And I responded and said, nah, he'd been there and done that 20 years and more ago.
Yeah, I mean, why would you want to do that? It's back to the point we're talking about, like Facebook and social media. I mean, serious point on that. when I was doing what I was doing, it wasn't that we didn't have to worry about what people thought, but you didn't have every last thing you did crawled over by 50% of the population who thought you were an idiot and 50% of the population who weren't sure. And I'm not, it's really tough now for these people. I mean, really hard for people in the industry in leadership positions, because everything is crawled over by people who think they could do a better job than they can.
And it's immediate before you even have an opportunity to say your own piece.
And it's nasty at times as well,
is.
which I can't be doing with. Yeah.
No.
I mean, on a really serious point, politicians get it worse, don't they? I mean, you imagine how Madeline and your family would react, Richard. You said, I'm going to be an MP, given the abuse, the trolling, the death threats and everything else. And so the only people who want to be MPs now are the people who should never be let near it.
Oh, I think, I'm not sure I quite agree with that, but I do agree.
I'm simplifying and exaggerating, Richard.
Yeah, it's a horrible, it's horrible. And they put up with an awful lot that I do accept.
Anyway, before you get off on another rant, I think we ought to wrap up.
Well, I've got to go and edit and take out all Nigel's bloopers now from the show that we just recorded.
Are we going to have a Christmas bloopers tape? I'm not sure we should, because there'd be one from you and umpteen from me. Oh,
I couldn't possibly comment.
How we'd laugh.
We could have a Nigel bloopers tape.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
We could have a whole series. We could have volumes.
Oh, yeah.
Has it got to that time already?
We have a box set. Right. No, that's brilliant. Right, then.
By the way, just before we go, quick, did you get that DVD I sent you the other day?
No.
Oh, okay.
Was it one that did it come in a brown? Or what
I'm a bit
DVD
concerned about what you might be sharing.
Yeah, I am slightly. What was it about?
What it was I found a spare copy of the double DVD that Telerail and I shot in 2004 in China.
Oh, right.
On the program, it was a big program that we shot in China on the hoof. And I can say this because it's all down to Steve and Phil's skills and not mine. It's the best thing we ever did. And I just thought you might be interested, but I posted.
Well, I would be.
I posted it to you several days ago. You should have had it by now.
Well, I do live in the middle of nowhere in Wiltshire, so that could be a factor. I will have to dig out. I'm sure we've got a CD.
Well, I said, have you got a DVD player?
DVD. I'm not sure, because everything's streamed.
I'm sure that they could provide a stream for it. But those two did a brilliant job, and we shot it on the hoof as a. What triggered me doing it was you saying how difficult it is that. You have to jump out and just do something to camera. And you've got a very, I mean, I said we had that for a fortnight because we'd get out of a train in the middle of nowhere in Mongolia. And Steve would say, right, I need 30 seconds on such and such. You'd have to compose yourself and just do it, Whereas he said, when Michael Palin does his travelogue programs, they'll recce everything the day before, discuss it over dinner at night, make a plan and then shoot it. And so I'm prepared to move a little bit on the jollying thing, Richard, because I know what it's like when you have to load cameras and tripods and everything else.
Well, that's right. And when you're getting out of a Class 66, you've got to wear gloves just in case you get knocked against the door. You have to turn around. You have to do 3 points of contact. You have to be very careful. It's all good. You have to make sure you're doing it into a point of safety. Then you've got to get handed your camera. Yeah, then you've got to move it.
All right. Both of you stop. We said we were going to wrap up. Let's wrap up.
Yeah. Well, he's having a go again.
No, I'm not. I was actually being kind, saying that I understand what it's like.
Right. Sometimes I feel like your mother.
And on that happy note,
farewell, one and all, until next time.
Indeed.
And let us know if there's anything else you'd like to see in these chats. Anything you want us to chat about. Anything you think
when you
we shouldn't
say
do.
you mean the listeners. You don't mean us.
Yeah, I do. I mean the listeners, yeah. But, you let us know as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, more ideas for what people want to hear.
Exactly, more ideas for what people would like to see us do.
Right, I'm going out for my air-conditioned comfort and see what it's like outside.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Right, okay, well, I'm going to go and open the door and see if I can asphyxiate.
Bye.
Bye.
See you both. Bye. Bye.